Adversity, bring it. The struggle, we welcome it. Snooze on life, never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on. Welcome back, No Snooze Podcast, episode 96. I am here with the boys. Let me rephrase that. I'm here with the men, right? With these bodies, we're not boys, baby.
Somewhere in between.
I am here with Michael, the show, Pirelli, Claudio, the voice, Valenzuela. We have Justin, the intern, Sanchez, got washed 11-0 by Dave. And I am Dave, the body, Regina. I'm fired up today. I'm in a suit, quite frankly, because I wasn't feeling myself this morning. So something I like to do just to get my swagger back is to put on one of my favorite suits.
Can you elaborate on when you're not feeling yourself in the morning? What does that mean?
So, again, I wake up, I'm doing my thing, look in the mirror. Today's going to be a great day. You're a handsome dude, the whole nine, gratitude, blah, blah, blah.
No wonder you have to wake up so
still
early.
wasn't feeling it. And this could be because Callie's got some molar issues going on. So every single night has been a lack of sleep. We were up at 2:30. Couldn't fall back asleep until 4 o'clock. Then Chance gets up. He wants to go out, try to go back to sleep. As soon as you go back to sleep, the alarm dings. And, of course, we are the No Snooze Podcast, so we do not snooze on our life.
I may have slept through my alarm on Monday. That we're doing the truth couch over there. I may have slept. We ran out of heat at 2 a.m.
Okay.
We had oil, so I didn't screw it up that time. But the new system, there was a short, so it kept shorting. So the heat turned off. Our rooms were like 60. So I was up from 1:30 to 3 a.m. figuring it out. We figured it out. But then when my alarm went off at 4:45, I was like, I didn't snooze. I just ignored it.
Right, I just ignored it.
It's different.
It is different, absolutely. But yeah, it's a little hack I do. When I'm feeling like doo-doo.
Wear a suit.
Because if you feel like shit and you look like shit, you're gonna be shit.
I don't like how you're looking at me.
So at least no, I'm not looking at you. I'm talking to you.
You're lucky this table's in the middle of us.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
6 feet, I don't care.
So what I do is if I'm feeling like that, I try to combat it with a little swagger, a little extra pep in my step.
Do you ever throw on the mink in case?
Oh, absolutely. You should
really
see me this weekend.
Is that what you're wearing?
Had a phenomenal weekend, and I was there was one day that after the Orange Theory fitness experience, which we'll talk about.
Shout out OTF.
I had our goddaughter Haley, Mark Carter's daughter.
So cute.
She was that was her second birthday.
Yep.
So Godfather, Padrino, if you will, shows up with a little stick in his mouth, a little padrone, and a nice little mink. And I was thinking to myself, Michael would love this right now.
Oh my God! How many kids? How many kids are you godfather of?
Just 2 officially.
Just so far. I mean,
yes.
You're a young guy.
Yeah,
that number's going up.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you, I don't know if we're gonna make it to you. We have a lot of
you got a lot of
siblings.
Family. Yes.
So but you might be the honorary.
I could take a dog or something.
Yeah, you could be Petey's
right?
godfather. It makes sense.
God
dog.
God dog. Absolutely.
DMX. She looks so cute. Callie, great follow. One of my favorite follows on Instagram is Callie. And they're just getting big. It's hilarious.
Dude, the amount of talking that Callie's doing. She's on this repeat stage right now.
Yeah.
So it's to the point though, like Karina, at least once a week, what she does is, she gets a little crazy. Callie gets a little crazy. So Karina has to call me and she's like, I know you're on your way home, but I need you to just take her for 30, 45 minutes. When I stay home with Callie, it's a problem. She's throwing everything. She wants to break things. She's just in that mood. So what I figured out is, little Acme is pretty close.
Hilarious.
Let me just take her to Acme and let me run up and down the aisles and just pull things out of the aisle. And, we do a little school session.
Yes.
So make a mess in the supermarket.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
Other people can.
And you should see me too. I'm opening things, giving it to her. She's eating, and then I'm not buying it. Oh.
Dude, you should take her to there was something, it was a meme or something, and this dude works out at Target. He goes into the fitness section of Target and just starts lifting weights. He's like, it's a free gym membership.
That's pretty good.
So you should take her to Target and work out with her.
That's good. So I've honestly been doing it once a week.
Yeah, it's
no
great.
joke.
It's genius.
And it takes us like an hour from start to finish, and then Karina's in a great mood. It's just a win-win.
We had an aunt that used to drive us, and her thing for babysitting was she would ask us to go right or left. And that was the whole thing. We would drive for hours and just scream right or left, and she would just drive around the neighborhood. Genius.
That is
Looking back, I'm like, that was so smart.
That is a good
and
one.
Then we'd end up pizza, and then it'd be over.
Ooh, That sounds like a good time.
Genius.
Let's talk Podbod father figure update. Don't know if you saw it this morning, but your boy had 385 on a string.
Are those real weights or those the foam weights?
No, yeah, I'm one of those guys that have those fake
those
weights.
Foamies?
But wait, shout out to Jordan Grulon. I believe that's right. I don't know if
doesn't sound right.
I call him JG.
Okay.
Right? Young guy, 20. I believe he's.
You got any facts on this guy? You're just making stuff up.
So anyway, he loves the No Snooze podcast. I seen him every day in the gym for a couple months. You know, we started with a little pound, head nod. He comes up to me one day and he's just like, yo, man, I love what you guys do. And I said, wow, man, thank you. Honestly, thank you for, coming to say that. I know that might not have been easy, but I really appreciate that. And I'll let the team know. He's like, listen, man, I am just so focused on the No Snooze mindset, not only in the gym, but in business. He's in sales as well. Bought some merch from us. So I did a workout with him, and he's absolutely crushing it. And again, he's early in his 20s. He's got a long, journey ahead of him. But he made me actually think of Justin, because if somebody imagine us adopting that lifestyle, that mindset early in your 20s, you're just going to be so much further ahead than everybody by the time you're in your 30s. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's a whole crew of them in the gym that, they always saw me wearing my merch. And they would always, what is that? What is that? What is that? So it started a conversation.
Were they talking about your merch or you? We're like, what is that thing?
Yeah, what is that? What is that next to your ear? That's my trap. Then
I can't hear you because my trap's blocking my ear.
I almost texted you guys yesterday because I see this I don't want to say older, because she does listen to the podcast, so she's, I would say, middle-aged.
Yeah,
what?
Both of those are tough.
What? Old? Not older. Middle-aged.
Mature.
There was a middle-aged woman that comes up to me in the gym. And before she comes up to me, I see her making eye contact with me, right? And I'm like, maybe she's just looking at the thing next to my ear, which happens to be my large trap, which has happened before. So I'm not thinking anything of it.
Trap.
Then now I'm like kind of glancing over, and every time I would glance over, she's like looking back at me. I'm like, oh, this is a little weird. I don't know, weird. So then she comes over, and she's like, hey, I don't want you to think that I'm weird. I got to tell you something. She's like, I'm a psychologist for the Albert Einstein College of Medicine, right?
And I would love to give you free time with me.
She goes on to say, I love what you guys do with the podcast. I shared one of the episodes with my class at the college.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she's like, if I was
it's a scary thought.
Right? That's what I'm saying. And in my head, I'm like, this is absolutely crazy. And she's like, don't think I'm crazy. And in my head, I'm like, lady, you are making my day. Can you call my wife and tell her that she's got a winner right here? Because my wife sometimes, she needs to hear this. She needs to hear, because she's the one that humbles me. She brings me back down.
Yeah,
but it was just an amazing thing that I'm like, I would have never crossed paths with this woman. And when she's saying that, obviously you're much more successful in your industry than we are right now.
Don't give her too much credit.
But just incredible. And her name is Sue. She introduced herself, and I just said, Sue, thank you so much. So shout out to you, Sue.
Shout out, Sue. Funny enough, someone didn't recognize me anywhere this week, so I guess that makes one of us. It's, you know what it is? I have that build that when you have a shirt on, it's not too noticeable, but then when you take it off, you turn heads. But the shirt's been on. It's been cold. Mm-hmm. All right.
All right.
So let's talk.
Orange Theory Fitness, right?
Well, I want to talk about the bench first. Or do you want to do that after?
No, go there. You got questions?
385?
385 on a stringling.
Why didn't you do 400? That's what the difference is, Dave. So, I will die on the bench trying to get my max. You're just playing it safe.
So
at 385.
If I'm being transparent here.
Be transparent.
Being transparent, I'm nervous to pick it up.
What? Pick up what?
Pick up 400 pounds.
You gonna blow out a chest, a pec?
To a point, yes.
Oh, you think?
I'm not nervous of getting hurt. I'm nervous for whatever reason to fail, and then when you fail at that weight, then does an injury come from it? You get what I'm saying? Because you're pushing so hard on 400 pounds, then does the injury happen? I'm not nervous about just picking it up.
Yeah.
Right? But that's why I was talking to this guy, John, at the gym, and he's like, dude, you just got to start picking it up. Pick it up, put it over your chest, rack it. Get used to the weight. For whatever reason, and honestly, when I hit that 400 or 405, that's supposed to be 4 plates on each side, I'm not putting 4 plates on. Just mentally. I got to put a
why?
25,
what fun is that?
a 10, a 5,
we're
a 5.
so different.
I don't know.
It doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
We can put a dumbbell on the side.
It's just been getting me nervous. I don't know. So Jordan was spotting me this morning. I left the audio on the Instagram clip, and he was like, "You didn't need me, man. Like, that's light work."
Yeah.
And it felt heavy, but it looks light, which is weird. Like, it looked like it went up.
Smooth. It was smooth.
Yeah, but it went up like no problem. But I really was like, damn, I can't do 400.
Yeah,
and he was like, I'll be
it.
right back. And then I left.
Yeah,
like,
he just snuck out.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know.
You know what I used to do back in the day? I used to, when we worked out, and it would be Phil or whoever I was working out with, Frank, I would sneak weight onto the bar and tell them it was a different weight and see if they could do it. And I'm like, oh, you did, whatever. And they were like, they were half mad, half happy. So I might do that to you. I might just throw 405. Yeah, it's 185.
I don't know. It's a mental thing. And then also, like,
do you have a ritual before you do your max?
Well, Ambrose has really changed my my approach when it comes to just warm up specifically. I always did the push-ups and pull-ups thing, but now I'm doing band pull-aparts, right, to keep the shoulders back and increase mobility, and then also behind the head with the band. So I really felt almost that elasticity from the band kind of in my bench, which was great. But I don't know, man. It's just a fear for whatever reason. I'm gonna get it. Don't worry about it. But instead of like,
we'll see.
Most people would have probably went from 385, got it like that, and then jumped right to the 400. I was about to go to 390. Like it. That's kind of stupid.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
It's not, because that would be a new best. So
385 was my best.
Yeah, so it's not, because you're still getting the best. So,
right.
I don't know. I feel like you got to ride the wave. Like, some days you feel good.
Yes.
I don't plan on max out some days, and I'm like, it's a gift. I got the gift today somehow.
That's how I felt today.
Yeah.
And then also just the only difference, I guess, in my routine now is Ambrosio has incorporated, and by the way, I have an accountability phone call with him later.
Do you want me to cover for you?
Yeah.
Just take Mike.
Take that call from me. He incorporated 30 minutes of daily cardio into my routine. So this last 1.9% to get down to 8 is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to break 19 as well. So we're in the 9s.
You're getting me nervous. I'm not going to lie, Mike. I'm always in your corner, always 100%, and now you're getting me nervous. For you to be at 20% or 21% and you not be at like 17 now.
Is this not the best looking 20% you've ever seen?
It is.
I look good. I don't know what's going on.
I think the numbers.
I think the machine's broken.
I agree.
But the Friday of weigh-in, Livy had a night. She had a fever again. We had to send her to the in-laws. Shout out the in-laws, lifesaver. So she couldn't go to daycare. I didn't get my workout in. Didn't get to drink the pre-workout in the morning. Fill up the muscles with a little creatine. Do a nice bench session to really fill out the boobs. So when I weighed in, I was like, I don't know if this is it.
Shaky.
Like, I don't feel good. I didn't get a good sleep. I didn't get my my prep. But Manny, my man Manny, has faith in me, and I let him down once again.
Listen, man.
I didn't move. Well, I went from 19.3 to 19.3. I lost a half a pound of fat.
Yep.
But I also lost 2 pounds of water weight in my muscles.
Okay.
So in my head, I was like, it's kind of a win. So this is a pivotal week. This is a big week. I'm sticking to the plan. Nothing's really changed.
You got to stick to the plan.
Yeah.
But you also have to, you got to get there, Mike.
And yeah. Thanks for the advice. That's like when you play golf with somebody, like, just hit it straight.
Just hit it straight.
Like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, because honestly, you're at the point,
I'm
like,
getting there, dude.
No, it's fail proof. Like, you just have to execute. And I now have a belief that you're not executing properly. And then when I look at your form on two things,
incredible.
So again,
my bench form,
no,
incredible.
you do T-Rex
I have
dips.
the best bench form.
You were doing the dips were way too short, and I'm coming at you with this because you're always like, give me some feedback, and I'm always very.
I've been told that, but my elbows don't bend all the way.
And then
that's the problem.
And then
I've been. All right, we're gonna
special needs.
We're gonna fact check this, okay, guys? Listen to me. My brother. What's Frank's handle on Instagram?
F Pretty.
All right, reach out to F Pretty 10. Terrible 10. Name, by the way. You're 35. Like, you're not pretty anymore, right? You're old. All right. Go reach out to him and say what I used to get yelled at while lifting all the time. It was my range. My elbows don't bend all the way.
Okay, all right. So that's that.
But my chest, my
bench press looks phenomenal.
Shoulder press,
everything
good, right?
looked good. But there was two things. So there was
dips
that
was tough.
The T-Rex dips,
20 pounds,
and then also the dumbbell row.
Ooh, I was struggling. 90 pounds. Those are 90s.
Your neck was.
Well, I was pulling it. You know.
Yeah, but you're gonna. I don't know, man.
Hopefully, I hurt something or I gained something. One of the two. I'm not going for the 385.
Those are the only two things. But your bench press looks solid.
What other form things have you seen? Because
that's it. Honestly, that's it. Those two.
I know some days I don't feel it, and I'm like, it's not great.
Those two. That was it.
I'm going too heavy though on pulls.
The diet, Michael. This is where I'm not convinced.
I drank 50 grams, 460 grams of egg whites for breakfast. I was just like, I don't have any yogurt left. Livy's up. I just need.
Do you agree with me though that if you were to execute each meal as you should, you would be making the progress that you want?
If the queen had balls, she'd be the king. So yes.
But why aren't you doing that?
I 100% am. I swear to God. I'm executing.
Besides the tell him Mike sent you, which I understand.
Which is difficult.
But those are built in.
I put on a show, by the way.
Those are in.
I ate 3 sandwiches.
That's crazy.
All right, go ahead.
But as long as you could still do that because you're kind of scheduling that anyway.
Yeah,
and you were smart. You said tell him Mike sent it. Tell him Mike sent it.
Tell him Mike made it.
Tell him Mike ate it.
That's a spinoff.
Doesn't count because, and he said this, it doesn't count because, he puts it in. And I was like, oh, that's really smart.
Well, it counts, but I factor for it.
You were exactly.
I weigh in before it because then mentally I have time to get back to.
Correct, and I agree with it because you need some cheat meals. But my concern is that your day to day you're executing at like maybe a 70%, whereas you need to be at like 90 to 95% of your execution to then be able to do tell them Mike sent you and all the other things that you want to do.
You have to be tight on your execution to get away with the stuff that I'm doing. I honestly think that the last weigh-in was not telling. I think I'm realistically more at the 19 mark now, which would be like, so I would argue that it was just a week-to-week weigh-in.
Could be.
And it fluctuated. So hopefully I'm right, but I don't know. We'll see.
Listen,
so this
put it on the calendar. Big. What is this? Almost, so we're in April now, right? We're in April. So we're in April now.
Yet. So it's not April.
By the time
don't you short me.
So by the time
we are March 29th.
So we're April pretty much, right? We're pretty much April, right?
People know we pre-record this. They don't think we're live.
No, I get it. But so we're right here, the beginning of April, May, all of April, all of May, all of June, all of July, and we're giving you all of August.
Well,
5 months.
Assume that August isn't in factor because
that's fine. CV, we're looking good, my brother.
How much did we bet?
$4,000 each.
No, I wouldn't know that. Maybe that's it. Maybe I didn't bet enough.
Maybe I didn't.
No, I honestly think that. And this might sound ridiculous because my results aren't as strong as the last time around. I think this way is more of a long-term solution, and I'm more confident in this approach than the past cutting approach that I used to use.
Listen, I'm confident that you could get there 100%, but I do believe now at this point, because you should be lower. You've been doing this now for a long time.
For like 2 years.
Right. You should have had significant progress to get down to like 18 or 17 to then really rock out. Because I think what's going to happen is you're going to get down to like 13, 14%. And then
that'd be nice if I get down there.
No, you are.
Summer?
You are. And then it's going to be hard. You're going to see that, okay, now you're really going to have to increase your cardio level. You're going to have to be 100% execution on your diet. And that's where I think that time period is going to run out for you. And that's why CV and I are going to put the money in our pockets.
I foresee that the foundation is built and I am chipping away at the tree. And when you chip away at a tree,
but
listen.
What about
this
the foundation?
Metaphor is a nice one. This is a good metaphor.
What does a tree and a foundation have to do with it?
He's right. He's chipping down at the tree with scissors, but you're chipping down at the tree.
So when you chip at a tree, right, it doesn't timber right away. It doesn't even move much.
That's true.
But then when you get to that last 10%, it tumbles, baby.
It
falls like does it land? If it lands in the woods, did you hear it? All right.
Are we agreeing that we're doing a shirtless?
Funny. I am more confident in my position now than I was last year at like 16%.
And I don't know if I am.
Because of the structure that you made me do, which I think was the right way. Because instead of, I default to chugging some egg whites every once in a while.
That's not bad, though.
Shoot me, I like egg whites. It's addicting. I'm addicted to the whites.
Oh, my God. Oh, boy.
It's egg beaters, by the way.
Okay.
Shout out egg beaters.
Okay.
We're getting that deal.
Listen, we need a dude.
I'll do a box of egg beaters.
He'll drink it.
I'll crush a
He'll
box
drink
of egg
it. I'll crack it with
So not much changed. The one area that I think I need to kind of put pedal to the metal is I need to not get distracted in the morning and lift weights, do more weight exercise, which we talked about. That was always in the game plan. I don't think I'm lifting hard enough to retain enough muscle while also burning calories. So the big push I want to do, like my April goal, is to try to get up maybe at 4:30 so then I don't waste as much time prepping. And when I get into I'm hoping the nice weather helps because it is freezing in the morning when I go in the gym. And it takes a while for me to warm up. You know that?
Yeah. And also, listen, you got this Bar Miguel that look. I mean that
Isn't that hilarious?
Oh, no, it looks incredible.
That looks nothing. I love Weverson. You're my guy, but that's a huge yard.
Oh, it's ridiculous. No. But it's a beautiful setup.
It's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be amazing. But it's like you have a homeless gym. And you got a 5-star.
Jim Miguel's getting renoed too.
Is it?
Yeah, the plans are coming out soon.
Listen, dude, and one of the things that came in, I don't know if you saw it. He said, "Where did Mike get that treadmill?
Dusty treadmill.
Yo, it's so dusty.
I don't touch it
because
I'm like,
piece of wood.
It's quality.
It's so funny.
So this is to my point right now. I'm going through the peak of diversity right now.
Yep.
Adverse, not diversity.
Adversity.
The peak. Well, it is diverse because I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, I thought you were going to say diverse because of all the things that are going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I'm at my peak adversity, probably height of construction. My gym, just to work out, I got to move 1 million pieces of wood. Like they're really tempted me, and I've stuck with it. So the mental win, I'm getting there with the mental wins. Right. I am not backing down to what life's throwing at me. Whoever's up there, I'm coming for you.
Big guy.
And I'm coming with abs. Okay.
That's right.
But I am, it's crazy to say I'm more confident this time around than last time.
All right. Listen, now I'm going to start talking that junk because I got to light a fire.
I got
to light a fire under your cheeks.
It's lit.
It's lit.
I'm
lit.
I'm the monk of weightlifting now. You can't get to me. I'm an unshakable tree unless I'm chopping it down.
Orange Theory Fitness, right? So
speaking of, crushed it.
Listen.
I am an athlete.
Mike did really good.
I almost had a heart attack.
It was based off of heart rate. Well, first let's explain it. Yeah. So Orange Theory Fitness we went to the one up in Yorktown Heights, right?
Shout out Corey.
Yeah, shout out Corey Gunners.
Corey Gunners. He follows us. Yeah. I pitched him on the live stream.
Big follow.
He's a big guy.
Great trainer. Very motivating. And, it was the first time that Mike and I took this class. So, of course, all eyes on us. We got the No Snooze logo.
I take this back. All eyes on you. I was flying under the radar like usual.
No, but, there was a couple people in there that had the No Snooze logo on besides us, which was awesome. It was a birthday party for Alyssa Salvo. And shout out to Billy and Alyssa for doing this. I don't know why I never thought of a birthday party in the gym. Like,
I love them, but... Listen, you can come to my party. We're drinking, and there's gonna be no physical activity. Right.
So this was, they rented out a lot
of fun,
the studio, and basically it was just all friends and some family that came for this private Orange Theory Fitness class. It's based off of heart rate, and it's a very cardio intense workout. Right?
What was the one rule they said? They go, whatever you do, don't take pre-workout.
Oh, yeah.
And
because it skews your heart rate.
Yeah, so I chugged like 2 scoops of pre-workout, and I had creatine during the workout.
Oh my God,
my levels were
So Mike was peaking. I'm looking up there. I'm like, damn, Mike is killing it right now. But he was also like, kind of dying like everybody else. We were all dying. Yeah. But I'm like, damn, like his splat points, and a splat point is basically their measurement of like how intense it is, where your heart rate goes into the red, like above 85 or 90%. So if you're there for a minute, you get what's called a splat point. Mike's splat points were through the roof. And then after I go up to him, I'm like, dude, you just crushed it. Like you had 30-something splat points.
Like
1,000
calories.
Yeah, like it was wild. And then the trainer I asked, I said, yo, man, like he took pre-workout and all this. He was like, that's kind of not fair, man. Like your heart rate was through the roof to start.
I go, Corey, is it right that like I laid down the whole end of the workout and my points
just kept going up?
He's like, well, you couldn't get your heart rate down because you were exhausted. And I was like, I guess that works.
But no, man,
it was fun.
What a great time, great workout.
Shout out to pregnant women in the workout class. Dana
was crushing.
Crushed it.
Absolutely. And then
Dana is more physically fit in cardio, pregnant, than me working on it for 2 years.
I would take the word cardio away. Dana is more physically fit than Michael. But no, she was incredible. I mean, she just kept rocking. There was a couple ab exercises. I got nervous. I'm like, don't do that because the baby might come out, right? Like,
well, yeah. I was like, Dana, take it easy.
But no, she was doing it in moderation when it came to those exercises, which was awesome.
And she goes, Mike, I had a lot of fun like working out with you, and I was like, because you were crushing me. And she's like, well, kind of.
Do you know my wife? Oh. She was on the other side of the room. Comes over to me at the end.
Oh yes,
right. And we were doing a V up. So it's like hands up, feet
You were
up.
doing a V-up. I was laying on the ground.
Well, then I, the first set was 10 seconds. Next set, 20, then 30, then 40, then 50 seconds. She comes over.
She was screaming.
Like, get your legs off the ground. I look at her. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Like, I'm resting. Yeah. She's like, no snooze. There ain't no rest. And she's doing it perfect.
Yeah.
But she's my excuse, I guess, is she trains like that. right?
Come here.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I thought in my head? You hear what I said at the end of the class?
No.
I'm Corey. Where are the barbells?
Right.
I've not trained for this.
Yes,
I'm trained
yes.
for weights. Give me 185.
Right.
And let me rep it.
But we did well for the class. We both I burned like 980 something calories. You burned 1,000 plus. But the treadmill 14 minutes, the rower 14 minutes, extreme lower back pain while I was doing that.
The rower killed me.
Oh my God, I was dying. But we had a much better showing there than we did for our first time at Soul Cycle.
Yes.
That was an embarrassment.
I have to tell one brief story. We were on the rower. And it was after, so there was 3 groups you could do. So strategically, of course, me and Dave were like, all right, we're going on the treadmill first because that's probably our weakest. We'll get that out of the way so that we can at least perform decent, right? Was that what you're thinking? Because that's what I thought.
Yes.
I basically was like, if I don't get a treadmill, I'm leaving.
Yes.
So we get a treadmill. Next one is the rowing machine, right? So when you're on the rowing machine, they have a thing that holds the bar so that it doesn't go all the way back. So when you're in, you could reach it, right? So Corey's like, all right, everyone strap in. So I'm like struggling to lift my legs because we just ran on the treadmill.
For 14 minutes.
40 minutes. 14. So we strap in and I'm like, oh no, the thing came off the thing and it is too far away and I couldn't reach it. So I'm, for the first 20 seconds of the workout, I'm like trying to reach it. Corey walks over. He's like, man, what are you doing? And he hands me the thing. I was like, that was not a good start. So to my point, Orange Theory is a lot of technique, which we got to work on.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out the OTFers, right?
Shout out Corey.
Awesome time. CV, give us a little update from the week if you got one.
By the way, when I saw you guys putting down the OTF, right? I kind of glanced at it kind of quickly, and I was like, "Wait, isn't it off-track racing? Isn't it?"
Oh my God!
OTB.
And then I look at the betting, right?
Yeah.
And then I look at the picture, and I'm like, "Wait, what? Are they gambling inside of a gym? Like, what's going on here?"
That would have been sick.
That would have been awesome.
You could have been gambling.
I'm gambling on Mike's gonna pass out in 30 seconds.
So anyway, now I know what that is. Orange
Theory. Fitness.
It's basically that you're in the fat burning.
Yeah, just take pre-workout and you're gonna be great.
Yeah. that is
Heart rate
literally my
heart rate
motto.
through the roof.
My update is not that great actually. I weighed myself, and there was no
My guy.
My guy.
Rolling with me.
He's normal.
and there was no. I mean, there was a little bit of a decline, which I guess is still positive, but it was like 1/10 of a pound.
So what?
It's better than going the other way.
Hashtag Proggy.
Right. But it was I guess it was a rough weekend, so I guess
Talk to me. What was it rough
no,
about it?
we ate.
We ate.
What'd you eat, though?
Like, a lot of food.
Little burrito?
Yeah. No, nothing unhealthy.
quesadilla?
Just more abundance. I actually have a whole bunch of questions that we'll leave for later on in the show.
Can't wait.
But other than that, the progress is still there. Still working out. Still doing the thing every morning. So
What's the total weight loss here?
Yeah, it hasn't changed from the
No,
last
but
one.
41
Do
or
you
42
keep that
pounds?
figure somewhere? Like,
Incredible.
you can see it?
So what?
Do
Yeah,
you keep that figure
on
somewhere?
an app,
That's awesome.
the Fitbit app.
Oh, you know what Ambrose loves about me on my app? What I did?
Say about me.
What I
he
did?
loves about me.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Tell us, Dave. What
I think
is
he
it?
loves it. When I started with him, I took a picture of 8%, and I made it my profile picture in the app.
Sick.
And he was like, "Yo, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that."
That's good.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just about to mention that.
Yeah, I have to foresee it. You know what it is? It's almost like you gotta fake it till you make it, right?
Nah.
To the point, and it's not even faking it, but it's
Visualize.
you're pretending, you're visualizing, right? It's almost like when you go to sleep at night. Think about it. The first thing you do is what? When you're going to sleep.
Dream about it. And
No. When you go to sleep, what do?
sleep.
You
Close your eyes?
Close your eyes.
Oh,
Correct.
I've actually been
But
doing
in
the
that
thing of
moment, you're not really sleeping.
Or
You're
throw the white
pretending
beater over
to
your
sleep.
head.
Do you hear what I'm saying? You're pretending to sleep.
I
Then you go to sleep. So what I'm doing is I'm pretending to be 8%, and then I'm going to show up at 8%. Feel me?
I got to pretend a little harder.
But obviously backed by action. So refer to me as 8% Poppy from now on.
So 8% Poppy. So I'm 19% Poppy. I'm trying. We talked about weaknesses last week. One of the things I'm really working on is to not vocalize when I'm tired anymore, because I feel like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and my mind sometimes doesn't know the difference if I just go. Like, I've had days where I've had very little sleep and I've worked all day, but I didn't have time to think about it and dwell on it, and I wasn't tired. Does that make sense?
Well, it's that whole theory of talking things into existence, right?
Yeah.
So I think everyone does it on a negative side, because if you don't feel well, if you're feeling tired, you kind of work yourself up and think, I'm tired, I don't want to do this, and very quickly you'll get into that
The funk.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is,
So
that's one of
if
them.
you do it to the positive side,
Yeah.
it's the same. You can have equal benefits.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do that. That's been a key this past week because I have been tired. Fuck. I just did it. So it's hard. But that, and then also trying to be a little more cryptic in life and listen more. I've said it, I think, at the end of the year. And in a profession where we do a podcast, I'm on the phone all day, trying to be more precise. I watched The Godfather with Dana again, and I like how he carries himself. When he makes a move, it's effective. When he says something, it's worth listening to. And I want to be more like that and less of a, rambler. So
you want to be in the mob?
Basically.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
No, I have seen The Godfather. I have.
Are we lying?
No, I really have.
Which one?
Ooh, good
question. So
I believe it's
I believe it's The Godfather. I think the first one, right?
Yeah, it's probably the first one. The majority would say the first one.
Yeah, but one thing I always remember that my uncle kind of had to explain it. I was like, why does he talk so low? Right, and it's exactly what you're talking about. When he opens his mouth, and this was his answer. When he opens his mouth, you're forced to listen.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll start talking real low.
It's hard when you have a podcast,
right?
TV shows.
No, I want to share too on on a work level. Our team will be going, and sorry, Mike, we didn't invite you, on a youth development trip with 40 kids in high school up to 4 or 5 colleges in upstate New York. 5.
Are you going?
5 colleges.
Are you going?
Are you going? You are. Psh, let's go.
What colleges?
3 or 4. So we got
my schedule.
Syracuse,
Ooh.
Cortland. What else? Oneonta.
So Oneonta. Binghamton, and Ithaca.
Yeah. So it's awesome. But the point of me sharing that is we had John Wallace come through, who is a former NBA. Oh, this is perfect. Karina loves when I put her on the podcast. Hold on.
She's gonna get mad at me. It's not. She doesn't even get mad at you,
baby girl.
Hey, baby.
Hey, welcome to the No Snooze podcast.
Oh my God.
We were just talking about how mean you are when you work out with us.
Yeah, like we were just talking about Orange Theory. So you got anything to say to the listeners?
First of all, I wasn't mean.
You were so mean.
You're no snooze, so like I need the energy.
Okay, all right. Listen, I already gave you your kudos, so that's that. But
thank you. I thought you were saying bad things about me.
I was.
No, that was Michael. But anything you want to motivate the listeners with? It's been a while since we've heard from you.
Yeah, that's intentional, and I'm gonna hang up now.
I love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. You hang up. There we go. Got to hang up. No, so John Wallace, we have a good connection with Madison Square Garden, New York Knicks. The town that we're in has a practice facility owned by the New York Knicks. So John Wallace currently works with the Knicks, played for the Knicks, great, decent NBA career, but phenomenal Syracuse alumni. I think he's the all-time leading scorer, or one of the all-time leading scorers at Syracuse. So we actually brought him in to talk to the kids. And while he was talking, he has a great personal story. But he mentioned the concept of 10,000 hours, which is something that, I think a lot of people talk about. But for me, it kind of shifted my mindset. And basically the theory of 10,000 hours is anybody successful in any industry in life gets to this 10,000 hours of their practice in their field before they even, really get any chance to shine. So just take a little project that you're working on. If it's a side hustle, if it's a small business, or your full-time job. If you're only working 2 hours a day on this specific thing, to get to 10,000 hours is 13 years. Right? And think about like the best of the best NBA players, Kobe, Michael Jordan, all these guys. They worked on their craft 4, 5, 6, 7 hours a day to get to where they're at. Same thing in business, right? So it's just a great concept for somebody who's listening to this that's, I'm not really making progress. I'm not making progress. That's very normal to not make progress, right? But then at some point, you should be able to make some progress to keep you motivated, right? We're both in the industry now. You're what, 8 years, right? I'm pretty much the same, 8 to 10 years, it's somewhere in there, to where we're just starting to begin to reap the benefits. Whereas a lot of people, they tap out before they ever even get to that next level. You know what I mean? Whereas if both of us right now, we said, you know what, we're not to the level of our, full vision, I'm going to tap out, we would never even get to that 10,000 hours. So it was just a great message. Wanted to share it.
Yeah, love it.
Right?
Yeah.
We wanted to take a quick second to let you guys know that we partnered with our good friends over at Orgain.com. We're happy to offer our listeners 30% off by entering the code NoSnooze30. Again, that's NoSnooze30 for 30% off your first order. If you're on the market for a new protein powder, nutritional shake, protein bar, or Mike's favorite, collagen peptides, Orgain is your one-stop shop. As all of you know, my Crohn's disease is currently in remission, and the only protein I use is from Orgain. My personal favorites are the chocolate peanut butter and the vanilla bean. With the code, you can try a 2-pound tub for under $20. Talk about not snoozing. Go get yours today. Now, back to the epi.
So I guess this episode is basically just questies. We had a couple questions that have been coming in. I've been saving a couple. What are you laughing at, Justin? Oh, questies. You like that? So we got a couple. We got Claudio the Voice Valenzuela on the microphone to ask the questions.
You would be Michael an unbelievable MC for like a bar night, you know, if you were hosting like a comedy event.
A barn night?
Bar night.
Oh. I don't know. I'm an animal, so I figured you were talking about the barn.
You're an animal.
I might rename the room to the barn now.
The barn. It's pretty good.
All right, so I'm gonna actually start with a question that I have, and I guess I was short on my Podbod update because this question kind of goes right into it, right? So, and you kind of alluded to it in the very, very beginning of the show. So, in the last couple of weeks, I've been feeling not as strong as I was, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? Or 4 weeks ago. And mainly, and this is what I'm attributing, because I'm still going through I don't want to just say the motions. I'm still pushing myself. I'm still going pretty hard. I'm trying to go really hard.
Is this only in fitness you're talking about?
Yeah, only in fitness. Only in fitness for this question specifically. The other questions are more. And I've noticed that, obviously the loss of weight has not been the same. Now, it's weird because I've been working, I think, a little bit harder, not only pushing myself more in the morning workouts, but also I've been dabbling with a second mini kind of exercise. I'm not going to say workout, mini exercise thing throughout the day, whether it's doing our little pickleball at work or doing a second walk randomly throughout the day. So what I've noticed is that my body has gotten tired. I don't want to say fatigued, tired. And what that has done ultimately is made me a little bit hungrier, which has made me to eat a little bit more. Now, I'm choosing wisely what I'm eating for the most part. So that I don't kind of go off the rocker, but little things of kind of like kind of wanting to put like a little damper on you, and I'm trying to fight through it, right? So I'm still getting up, I'm still doing my work, I'm still pushing hard because I know that's an important thing as well. But I'm like for example today, and this is a purely me. This last night, the dog woke up at 1:00 in the morning and I was exhausted yesterday. I did about 12,000 steps. I had a pretty good showing physically of exercise and a combination of different things. So I was exhausted. I wanted to go to sleep. I went to sleep early, trying to get my good hours in. The dog wakes up at 1:00 in the morning, kind of similar to what you were saying, Mike. And I didn't go back to sleep probably till like 3:30 in the morning. Completely throws off my sleep. Wake up this morning, absolutely no desire to do anything. I just was like, oh, maybe I'm going to bank out. I'm not going to do anything. And then I'm thinking in my head, I can't do that. We're going on this trip. I know I'm probably not going to work out on that very first day that we travel because we leave early. So I can't skip. If I'm going to skip, let it be that day. So I got up and I did my workout. And I went, not as hard today, but I did do a workout. The question is, and I want Mike to answer this first, and then I'm going to go to you, Dave. Yep.
I wasn't listening.
I hope you were listening.
I've been listening all the time. See the eye contact? I'm here, bud.
How do we get out of this funk? How do we address that? How do we kind of overcome this little obstacle? I feel like I'm pushing still through all this crap.
Mm-hmm.
But again, when I look at the scale, right, it hasn't been reflective of what I feel that I've been doing, and I feel like I'm exhausting myself. Was that the question?
I think it was a question.
Yeah,
what was the question?
There's a 5-minute ask of a question.
I wanted to set the scenario a little bit.
I think you got it. But really the question is, how does he get out of this funk?
It's not even a funk, but how do I overcome these obstacles that are kind of like hitting me?
I think you're at a phase where Dave can weigh in on after, but I've gotten to phases in my personal journey of stuff where there becomes a new norm. So now I don't expect to get good sleep. anytime I get a good rest, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
So like when I don't get a full night's sleep, I just assume like that's what it is now, and I just go about my day. So I'm not discouraged by it anymore. Does that make sense?
No, it does.
Like, so there's
are you tired? Are you normal?
Yeah.
And I don't mean tired like from sleep
Damn,
tired.
I
Like
did it again.
like are you
Mentally tired?
No. Physically, like physically kind of worn down. And
I have lived worn down for the last 2 years. And you just get to a new place where like it's very rare you feel fresh.
Like
you know what I'm talking about?
Hashtag parenting.
Parenting. It's so you
100%. And it's probably 10 times even worse
Harder.
for moms.
Oh yeah. So but I think that's in everything, not just your body, not just your mind. Like the new norm isn't a bad thing. You just got to get used to it, and then that becomes the new baseline. And it's okay to have like a setback, because now it's like the stock market. Stock market, it's called a ascending trend, right? So it goes
it's good.
Goes up, drops a little bit, but doesn't go past where previously, and goes up, comes down. So that's the reality of a journey. Like even with you, he always is making progress, but I'm sure he has days where it's a little bit of a drop back, but you just got to keep the trend going the right way. You know what I mean? My problem, I don't see it in you. My problem is I would just get to the trend and then I just throw everything out. I used to think of my fitness journey not like my real estate or life journey. I thought it was more of like a quick fix. Now I'm correlating it with a long-term approach. And, you know, when I buy a house, when I get into an industry, I don't ever plan on changing that. So I'm trying to do that now, where I have a routine and a lifestyle, and that's just me now. I don't plan on changing it. I'm breaking the stigma of all my friends, family. You know, he just yo-yo diets, because everyone I talk to is, oh, you're doing this again, which is fine. But I set that up. So I have to get back to I have to create a new norm for myself, where now that I'm at 19, I never go below 19 again. I got to keep the trend going down. Whereas in the past, I get a real good result, but then I end up past it.
So would you say that the advice that you're giving is kind of weather the storm now, because this is the new kind of baseline that you're setting?
You also might be looking at the wrong metrics. That's something I learned too, is like in my real estate career, I was looking at the wrong metrics in the beginning. I was getting discouraged because of a result of commissions, where I should have been looking at a metric of like how many at-bats am I getting, because I can't expect to come in and just crush it right away, but I should be making progress in my reps.
That's
Does
actually
that make
a
sense?
great point. Because I will say,
Or like
I do feel, I
right?
feel great. I gotta tell you, I feel my body I mean, it's tired, which is it's a good tired feeling. So I do feel way better now than I did maybe 6 months ago.
Yeah.
You know, so you're absolutely right. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. Maybe I saw the scale not change enough for me, and I was like, oh, that kind
Well,
of
you
stinks.
might want different data like the InBody, because then you get addicted, because you're like, all right, well, my weight didn't change, but I lost fat. And that's a good, and then it keeps you motivated. And the other thing, the other trick I use for like stress, life, just pushing through, is I look really short term and then really long term, but I don't look at like the midterm. So I'll be like, all right, well, what's today's schedule? And I'll look through the schedule and be like, all right, I'm going to knock out one thing at a time. And then long term, I'm like, how far have I come? And I'm heading in the right direction. So like, yes, I might fail for the next 2 weeks and really get my ass handed to me. Yeah. But if I'm knocking out my daily and my big goals, I'm getting closer to my big goal, then that matters, but not as much. Does that make sense?
So almost like take a step back and look at the bigger picture and kind of.
Well, you don't want to look at the bigger picture without looking at the day-to-day too, because then you just kind of like, oh, well, I'm heading the right way, but I'm not taking action. Yeah. So for me, it's, all right, what's my next meeting? And then what's the big goal? And it's like the combo. I don't know. It's that's how my brain works.
I like it. Mr. Roboto.
Dave's ready to go. Let's
go.
Yeah. No, I don't even need to speak on it. You know, I think that was great advice. I mean, if you want something from me, I would say if you were looking at
if you're
looking at the data, right, for you and for everybody out there, you know, your body gets to a point that you definitely need a rest. Yeah. But why? Like, I don't schedule off days anymore. I just don't do it. I
took that from you. I like it.
No, I literally don't do it. But what I've been doing, I've taken 3 days off this entire year. And the reason being, yes, the first 2 were due to travel and stuff like that, but the last one was data driven, right? I physically felt extremely burnt out and weak. And I looked at my previous workout that I did that was very similar to that one, and I saw my numbers that I wasn't happy with. And I was like, wow, okay, I have a decision to make. Am I going to continue that trend and continue to just push through, or am I going to take the day off and then reevaluate the next day? So that's on the realistic side of things, right? Then on the more robotic side of things, like I was saying the other day, and we spoke about this on the podcast before, you take a shower every single day, right?
Some of us do.
Well, again, but for the most part, we take a shower every single day.
Yep.
Motivation is the same exact way, because as soon as you stop motivating yourself or you're not inspired, it's very easy to stop. But if you put it into your head like it's a shower, you don't have a choice.
Discipline.
Right? Because it comes down to discipline. If you don't shower, you're going to smell like shit. Whereas for me, if I don't work out, I'm going to feel like shit.
Yeah.
And I approach it the same exact way as I do my business world, right? And that's been fitness, yes, has been a crutch for me, but I've adopted that right into business, right? You I know how you work on a professional level. There's got to be days that you don't feel like going to work, but what do? Go to work. You go to work, right? And then there are days that you take a sick day. No, but you get what I'm saying? Like that's normal. You take a sick day, you take a vacation day. Right. But for the most part, when you're not feeling like going to work, like most of America, you still go to work.
You know what worries me? It's gonna get candid. What worries me is falling off of that train, right? Which
Only
is
you
why...
could jump off the train. What are you falling off of?
Right. No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just being open about what it is that goes through my head, which is why I kind of like you started in the year, the not taking days off, and that's why I don't want to take a day off. Because I know this about myself. And you've said this plenty of times on the podcast, don't take 1 or 2 days off, right? Because after that second day, you start kind of, that happens to me. Like, it's almost like immediate that I get off. Yep, I don't want to do it. And then the next day, it's so much easier every day that you don't do it to not want to do it.
Yep.
So I'm so mindful of that if I take a day, it's a day, one,
Yep.
you know? But that's one of the worries that I have in my head because I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. And I do still feel up and I get up and I want to do it and I do it. Today was a struggle because of the lack of sleep. I was not having it, and I battled right through it. And I got on the treadmill and I did it, and I feel good afterwards. It wasn't the best workout, and that was one of the things that I kind of wanted to bring up. Like, how do you just go through the motions of getting up and getting on the treadmill because that's what you wanted to do, or do you at that point are you trying to really push further? Because today I definitely did not push further. I kind of stayed at the realm that the machine kept us.
So my challenge to you would then be tomorrow. Right. My challenge to you would be tomorrow. So today you said I fought through it.
Yeah.
Right. But now your data wasn't to the max level that you've done. If tomorrow you can't get back to that max level, your body probably needs a day off. Whereas if you can beat it, that was just a mental thing.
I think,
you know what I'm saying?
I think going through the motions too allows you to not throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah.
You know, because you're like, at least I did something.
Yes.
So then tomorrow I'm not completely off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, I felt good of that, but then as I was working out and I was like,
It's frustrating, right? It sucks. I hate when
I
don't
wanted.
get to work out.
I know I've been running.
Yep.
I didn't run at all today.
Yeah.
I just did a regular walk. It was almost like a recovery kind of walk today, and it was a decent intensity, but it was nothing out of this world.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit like, I should have done more. I went through the whole process. I got all sweaty. I did all this. Why couldn't I just push harder?
You're good.
Why?
You're right here, baby.
We good. But thank you.
Yes,
Next
sir.
question.
Next. Yeah. Take us away from fitness, please.
Good.
No problem. Okay. Here's a celebrity one. Are you guys ready?
Oh, celebrity.
Celebrity.
Like the No Snooze celebrities? I know those guys.
Would you like to meet Mike Pirelli for a sandwich? By the way, that sandwich you posted, it's
It's a good episode. I ate 3 of them. 3 of those sandwiches.
Claudio's just as bad as us right now.
Are you serious?
I ate 3 of them.
Complete.
I can eat.
The Italian combo?
Yeah, that stuff's imported from Italy, and then he prepares it fresh. We made mozzarella on the spot, and he was just handing me knots of it.
When you opened
So hard.
the sandwich,
I gotta check it. I gotta
Like,
see it.
Shout out Ashley though.
As you were-
She
Is
stuck
it the
to
one
her
that came out
diet.
today?
Yeah.
I gotta watch that.
as you were opening it, my mouth was immediately drooling.
Did I open that one?
No, it was like cut in half.
Yeah,
and kinda
yeah.
like- I was like, oh my
it's
god.
it's unbelievable stuff. But
Anyway.
here's the thing, right? So what I've come to realize, and say what you want, those moments are so much more enjoyable now if you eat perfectly the rest of the week.
Correct. You
Because
feel
there's
like
no
you
guilt
deserve it.
attached to it.
Right.
And it's like, and you haven't had something like that in a week. So when you have that, it makes everything, the dichotomy of life is where the
Good
magic
word.
is.
Good
That was
word.
good, dichotomy.
Dichotomy
I've
of
never
leadership
used that
is-
word in conversation.
But the dichotomy of
ever.
leadership is Jocko's
I don't know what the hell that is.
incredible book. man.
Discipline, freedom, that is that
Well,
what?
it's called the dichotomy of leadership.
Oh.
The only thing that I think about sometimes
Young guy
that
kinda.
what you just said about like that. Oh, what happened here?
I just dropped a bomb and they couldn't deal with it.
What's
He
the,
did.
what's the question?
Oh,
Sorry,
right.
we got
You're
sidetracked.
right. We did get sidetracked.
That's
Because
my
the
fault.
sandwich
That's my
was so
fault. That's my
so
fault.
delicious.
That's my fault.
What's the best celebrity story you've ever heard? You can't say that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock as a story. I
Yes,
guess.
yes. Ironic that you mentioned Will Smith because there's a story that Will Smith told about Muhammad Ali that I can never forget. And I guess, yes, Will Smith has studied Muhammad Ali's life, pretty significantly. Did he play? He played him in a movie?
Yeah,
That was a great
Ali.
movie. Ali.
I never
Right,
saw
great
it.
movie.
So he played him. So there was, I guess it was the time that Ali had to be around, the set pretty frequently on a day-to-day basis, right? And Will Smith, he's talking and he's like, the one thing that I'll never forget about Muhammad Ali was that when he would be on set, he would disappear. I was like, where the hell did Ali go? And they found him literally every day taking a public transit bus, just getting on the bus and just going. But being Muhammad Ali and just stepping on a bus with normal people and just driving wherever the bus would go. Then Ali would call, be like, oh, I'm here, come pick me up, right? And so he asked him, yo, Ali, why are you doing that? And he said, you get to a point that your greatness, people believe you to be fake. I need them to see me. I need them to feel my greatness. So I step on a bus like a regular person just so they can say, wow, I've seen and I've witnessed greatness. It was incredible. It was
What
just,
was he doing on the bus?
He's just going. He's just allowing people to just see him. He wanted to be normal. He didn't want to be treated like, Muhammad Ali all the time. I get a private escort here, private escort there. So he was just very dignified in everything that he did. So he would just step on a bus. But then him getting back to the Ali mindset was to Will saying like, yes, it was a very humble thing I did, but I did it because I want them to witness greatness. They get to see me in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? But imagine seeing him on the bus.
Be bizarre.
It was just very funny because it was a perfect combination of humble and confidence.
Yeah,
Right?
bizarre.
Maybe he was playing that game with your aunt. Make a left. Make a right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then a pizzeria.
the
Yes,
bus
I actually
driver.
thought about that. when you
Come
said
pick
that.
me up, please.
That's hilarious.
Can you imagine getting a call from Ali? Hey, I'm in whatever. I took a bus here. He's like, what are you doing?
Just bizarre though, right?
Being his handler.
Yeah. Something I'll never forget on that one.
Do you have a story, Mike?
I do not. I'm trying
we'll
to
move on
think
then.
of like.
Don't even worry about it.
I'm sure there's tons of stories. I mean, I love
Tell
a
a
good
story about me. Go on.
I love a good documentary. So like anything that's in a documentary, I'm trying to think if the one I watched recently was good.
You guys want to know a
No.
fun fact as you're thinking, as you're making all those noises?
Sure.
So I played hockey with Mike Richter.
I don't know who that is.
Yes, you do.
He was a goalie.
Come on,
No
that's
idea.
a goalie.
I
from
didn't
the
play
New York
hockey.
Rangers.
I don't know hockey.
Richter.
So
is like-
ironically,
You don't know Richter.
I swear to
either.
God,
he's a
the only thing I know in
Stanley
Jim.
Cup
Richter.
Did I
champion.
not just say goalie?
Yes, he
didn't
did.
tell me that it was a goalie.
Yes, and he played out. By the way,
I
in his goalie
remember
skate.
You over-prepared.
my cousin Tommy.
Guess where though?
Where?
Right in your neck of the woods.
Where?
Greenwich
Dorothy?
Boys
Greenwich
and
Boys
Girls
and Girls
Club.
Club?
Yeah,
It's a spot, dude.
That little rink is
No,
awesome.
the only thing I remember is like, my cousin would
Greatest day
make
of my
me
life.
play hockey, and I hated hockey, and he would make a save, and he'd be like, Richter! So I just remember him doing that.
Richter.
I was never able to score.
Yeah.
So
All right, next
All right, what do you
question. What are your thoughts on wealth and well-being?
Health is wealth. Case closed.
no, this is a good one.
Next question.
I think the way that I'm taking the question is, does it exist? Right?
Does what
Together.
exist?
Does wealth? Can you be?
Absolutely.
Can you be wealthy and be in a state of well-being? Whereas I will say, I had to learn to separate the two completely, because as I was coming up, even through my own family experiences, everything was based off of money. When I was a child, my parents would fight over money. It was a consistent thing in the household. Dad would be working nonstop. Mom would be doing whatever she's doing with the kids. And everything always came down to money, which preconditioned me to believe, okay, I have to go out and make as much money as possible. Don't get it twisted. I do believe now to this day, the more money you have gives you the ability to be freer in life, to make better choices for your family in life. Would I choose being rich over being poor? 100%. But for me, I had to learn okay, there's a side of life that's about well-being. Happiness is not only derived from financial stability, right? Happiness is derived from your family, your morals, the choices you make on a day-to-day basis. I think there's a lot of rich people in the world that are extremely depressed, that no money in the world can, subside your depression or your anxiety, right? That's something that money just can't buy happiness. I do believe it exists, but I believe that for me, I have to be on this mission and this lifestyle of professional and personal development. Because if I'm not doing that and I'm just handed all the money in the world, you already know what happens, right? You begin to make bad choices. So yes, I do believe it exists, but it has to be completely separated.
Nailed it. I mean, money's a tool. That's the only way I look at it.
Yeah, you always say, and that's
more, nothing
beautiful.
less. Just a tool.
You were
use it for good.
You were instrumental in. Oh, I would always hear you saying, money is freedom. Money's free. And at first, I was like, what the hell? Like, you need money. You need money. You need money.
Yeah.
Whereas it just allows you the freedom.
Well, you do need money.
Yes,
like,
I'll agree.
Try to. Yes.
100%.
So I'll do a quick rant. So you see these shows and they're like, we're going to live off the grid and like, we'll do this. Like, you're still trying to make money. Just the money is you're chopping wood. Like, you're still trading time for tools. It's just a different type of tool. So I'd much rather be in our society where I can leverage my time to make more tools that I can then reinvest in and actually free myself up than go to live in the woods and it's all on me to get everything done.
But that's subjective, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It depends what you want.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's kind of backwards when you watch these people go live in the woods and they're like, oh, this is an extreme case, but like, oh, dad has cancer. We need to go back and work to make money so we can take care of him. Whereas if that's truly what you want to do, then live in the woods and then don't go to the doctors, and it's fine. It's all preference. For me, I just feel that instead of making it evil, it's just a tool. It's a unit of energy. You're trading your time for this thing, and that makes me more conscious of what I'm investing this tool in, because I personally do in my profession correlate it to how much hours I have to work. Right. Even though I'm not on hourly, when I spend something, I'm like, wow, that's X amount of hours because I would have to go sell this house or I'd have to go make this investment. So when you correlate that, even with Dana, I joke around with her and she spends some. She's good. She doesn't spend like crazy, but sometimes she'll make a dumb spend. I'm like, oh, you can work forever. That's fine. I just get her mad saying that because I want to remind her, like, she's great. But every time I want to spend on something stupid, not say I don't, I think about, like, could this money go somewhere else that can make me more that I don't have to repeat working as hard as I did. Right. I like working hard, but no one wants to be in the same cycle.
Yep, 100%. Good.
Cool. Okay, next question. What would you say are 2 focal points as businessmen that translate to you as family men?
It's a very good question.
I would say loyalty is my biggest. So like when I work with people and I create partnerships, I try to be as loyal as possible and commit to like throwing my energy into this one partner and make it so that we're like a team. So I've worked at it and been very hard working at it, that I think Dana and I are aligning as like a team with Livy, and she's becoming a part of the team, and we're working together for our goals while we're achieving our own individual ones. And that's kind of how I look at business now.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Beautiful. So it's loyalty and
just loyalty.
Loyalty
goes with like commitment.
Gotcha.
It's like once you get something that you trust, like, whatever it is, a new attorney, whoever it is, like you legally, I have to recommend a couple. But if you end up using someone I'm super familiar with, like I want to honor them and do the best by them so that the next time around we have that relationship so that everything's even smoother. And then you get on to like an area like we are, where we talk less as a group, but I think we're even more in tune than we were 2 years ago.
Correct. No, that's a beautiful one. If I had to say 2, the first one that came to mind, which is similar to loyalty, but it would be impact. I'm very focused these days on the influence that I have on other people in a positive light, right? To serve them, to serve my family, to serve the people that I work with, partners, even in something like this. Always giving others something to walk away from after an experience together. I want to do that not only in my family life, but also in my professional life. And then the second thing, which is I believe probably across the board for all of us in this room, is maximizing productivity. You know, you can make a decision in business and in your family life to kind of just, you know, sit on the couch. And yes, there's a time to do that with your family, obviously. But I've been focused and conscious on times that I'm even, you know, pretty tired where I don't want to do things. I've taken that mindset and applied it to the family life to say, you know what? My daughter could really benefit from a walk on the street right now, right? Instead of me just trying to sit down watching Moana with her. Not that there, again, time and a place for it, but me maximizing my production and my output is something I'm extremely focused on, not only in business, but obviously making memories with my family as well.
Love it. Next question.
Yep.
Do you feel pressure? Not Dave. How do you take pressure off yourself? Pressure.
I don't think you take it off.
Well, the first one was, do you feel pressure?
Yes. Do you feel pressure?
Every day.
Yeah.
If I don't feel pressure, I'm like, something's
off.
Yeah. I think you could take pressure off or release a little bit by focusing on your family. That's one of my favorite things to do at the end of the day.
Yep.
I try to get out of the office and have some time with Olivia before she goes to bed, because once she goes to bed, then you could refocus and knock stuff out if you need, but it's a nice reset. You realize you're fortunate to have, you know, a healthy baby, you know, and lucky that you can be a part of it. It makes you feel smaller because you realize that she's going to outlive you, hopefully.
Oh, yes, of course.
Which makes you feel less important. And you're like, I'm doing this for her. I'm doing this for the family. When I die, you know, maybe my family shows up to the funeral, maybe friends, but who knows? So it makes everything a lot clearer. It's morbid, but it's good exercise. And then throughout the day, it's just focusing on the task at hand and mapping out what you still have to do and starting projects so you feel like you're at least breaking the surface and starting them. For me, it's if I don't start the project and get like my thoughts organized and even just getting it to 1%, then I get a little anxiety about starting it. Do you ever get that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And stoicism is my like biggest thing. My biggest hack is just stoicism is when you're super stressed, you write down what you can control and you write down what you can't control, and then you just focus on the left side.
That clip did like 15,000 views, by the way.
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't make it up, so I just ripped it.
No, I get it, but you've been applying it, which is awesome. No, great answer. So yes, I agree 100%. I definitely feel pressure. And then how do I deal with it? I feel like for a long time, my pressure was built off of me wanting things immediately, immediate gratification, right? Whereas, you know, I'm obsessed right now with delayed gratification, putting in the work every day in every facet of life to ultimately reach that day, whatever it is, of delayed gratification. If it's, 10 business meetings and then finally, boom, you get that goal, that's the delayed gratification. If it's this fitness journey that I'm on, the day that I reach my 8% is my delayed gratification. Too often we're obsessed with the overnight approach and we want that, right? We chase that high. So I've been fortunate enough now through the past couple of years to realize that doesn't exist. Perfect doesn't exist. So I've been okay with falling in love with the actual process of the way things are supposed to be, right? I think a lot of people also, we were talking about burnout. I was fortunate to have that realization before I burnt out. I think a lot of people, you work to the point that you can no longer overcome that and you actually end up giving up, right? You don't ever get past it. Like I was fortunate enough to have this realization, but I also have worked 80-hour weeks for years, all through my 20s, right? I worked 6-7 days a week, everything from caddying on a golf course while I was then getting in a business suit the next day, right? I don't want to go back there to that spot, but I think a lot of people never have that realization and they end up giving up on their goal too soon. That's kind of how I deal with it.
There's a good quote to reiterate your point. It was like, overnight success takes 20 years.
Correct. 10,000 hours, baby. Yeah. Right? Like, yeah, and that's the thing too.
Like Soulja Boy.
Correct.
His documentary is amazing. It's absurd.
Dude. What about
but
Kanye?
Kanye won, but Soulja Boy even more so because he had the big hit, and everyone's like, "Oh, he got so lucky." But if you watch his documentary, he was on MySpace like 20 hours a day, DMing people, connecting with people, and he built it from the ground up, and he created his own success. But when people look at it, they're like, "Oh, I think he's a genius, Soulja Boy." Like if you ever watch his interviews and stuff.
Well, that's why it's Michael adopted "Tell Him Mike sent you" because of Soulja Boy. Right? Soulja Boy, tell him.
Fun fact. It's actually something I thought about the other day.
Stop.
I swear to God. I love his documentary is great. It's an awesome documentary.
I got to check it.
But if you didn't know him.
Yep. You just thought it was a one-hit wonder.
This is another point. When you get to a certain point, people will discredit you.
Correct.
And say you're lucky, and only you know how much work you put in. So you can't get offended because they can't be with you.
They didn't know. Right.
They can't be with you day to day. So they're going to be like, "Oh, he got lucky." And that's fine if they think it's
whereas
luck,
we're fortunate, like in something like this day and age now.
Yeah, there's proof
with social media and stuff like that. Most people who make it, unless you're just documenting the journey from when you make it, we have the ability all to be documenting it as it happens in every facet of our lives. Whereas back then, even with MySpace, you had a couple outlets, but it wasn't as
transparent.
Yes, transparent as it is with all the outlets today.
But I'm guilty with it. Like I'll see something, like even a sports athlete, and be like, "Oh, they crushed it. Like what a lucky game." Right. But like when you watch like Linsanity documentary, you realize he's been working so hard, and then he just got an opportunity. And when he got that opportunity, he just knocked it out of the park. But everyone else is going to project that you were a one-hit wonder lucky.
Correct. Yes, sir.
I have a follow-up question, David.
Yep.
How do you make the transition from the I guess, impatience of wanting everything or success right away to what you kind of described that where you're at right now, where you're wanting things, you want to see the process, the long process?
That's a great question.
That is a great question.
It's a good question.
For me, it'd be belief, right? Like when you look in the mirror, I personally have this belief in myself.
But where's the belief come from?
No. Well, this is the thing. I believe that everybody has this in them, whereas I know the things that I can do and I can't do. Back when I was working, 2-3 jobs trying to get to my next level, I had to have a belief in me to say, you know what, I can get through this time period. Some people, you might just not have that. I don't know how to find that for you. I don't. There's no magic pill you take this, right? I do believe it comes down to you enjoying what it is that you're doing. Like
really?
Also,
that's an interesting answer.
Also, a lot of people, my industry, I love what I do. Your industry, you love what you do, right? I had to say in my head and make sure, okay, am I being realistic about this? And am I able to work these 70-hour weeks, but then still find the brighter side of things when I do become the commissioner that I want to become, right? You have to be able to see that vision, because if you don't have the vision in yourself, that's on you. Now, I believe you can develop that through routines and habits.
I was going to say
small little things.
Results.
Not even results, but you have to, if you're just a person that's just completely depressed, we spoke about this before on the podcast too. You have to develop a little routine to get you up and going, right? The sobriety journey, the one that my mother's on, 3.5 years now, it's the one day at a time approach. The first thing she has to do is she has to say sober for today. There's no long term, right? So if you are only in your head that you can't even look forward, you have to be able to have the ability to say, I could do this right now in the moment. So for me, it came down to obviously belief and then execution through my habits, my routine, and my day-to-day.
So I think I would add to that. I think for me, it's more results. Like my belief comes from pointing back and being like, yeah, we renovated a house already. So I know that it sucks now, but in the past, if I can get through this stage, we're going to be pumped.
What if you can't see results? What if you're a person like I'm talking
about? Create results. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you can make belief without results.
See, I disagree. I disagree with that, because I think personally, your skill set, your attributes, what you can bring to the table. Certain things in my life just aren't realistic for me.
Like what?
Right?
Is progress a result?
Yeah. Progress is
any
a result.
progress.
But we're saying so I think
so it doesn't have to be the end goal result.
No. But like for example, like what's a good, like selling a house, right? Like when I first started, it took me 6 months to sell my first house. It was very difficult for me to stick to the plan before that happened, and I had a lot of doubt. I was like, did I make the right choice? Is this the right industry? Am I any good? Am I learning? Am I getting better? Then you sell a house. Then you're like, all right, well, maybe that was a fluke. Let me try it again. You stick to the plan. It takes a little shorter to see the result. And you're like, oh, okay, this is starting to become a habit or whatever, a trend. So then you're like, all right, well, let's see a third one. Then you do a third one. Then you're like, all right, well, so now I have months where nothing good is happening, but I'm sticking to the plan because I know the results on the other side because I've done it 20 times, 40 times, 50 times. So my point is if you're and not just real estate, but weight loss, having gotten to a low body percentage, I'm sure you now are like, yeah, like I can't see the results right now, but I trust that they're coming because I've had results in the past from doing the same thing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the process kind of gives you the confidence to know that
It's
you can be patient
compounding.
knowing that it's going to come.
Yeah.
Because you've seen it before.
Yeah.
But
But
it's all-
I'm sure you, right? Let me ask you this question. Now that you're a little farther along in the process of your journey, are you more confident in what you're doing than you were in the beginning?
Yeah.
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 So that's my thought. And you just get more confident. And when you completely change the process, which I've done, then you don't have that confidence anymore. And it's easier to
Yes.
get off track because you're like, I'm trying this like fasting thing, but I haven't seen the results yet. And maybe the other way was better. So it's
And
tough when you change.
Confidence for me, I believe that it stems from being able to do the things that you say you're going to do. Something we spoke about multiple times. But if somebody's just trying to build confidence, how do you build confidence, right? Because you were saying the belief thing. How do you get the belief? You have to build your confidence. Are you a person that believes in yourself? Do you believe you say something out loud, and do you believe yourself to be able to execute that?
Well, you got to have the result of you doing
And I'm
it.
not only talking about little things, right? Like I've used the situation with the shower, right? I'm going to shower in 20 minutes. Are you going to, when that 20 minutes is there, are you going to be like, oh, just one more commercial? Or are you going to get up and go shower?
And then you get
Small
the
wins.
data, though.
Correct.
The small wins.
Yeah.
Correct.
But you
But-
get the data that you.
Yeah,
you
but
are
that's
a
further
person.
along.
No, that's right after you shower. You get the data back.
Because now I don't smell bad?
No, the data is you did.
No,
what
'cause you
said
got
you
up
did.
and
Oh, yeah,
shower.
right. So you got that little win.
Yeah, yeah.
But it has to start there. You know what I mean? Like it's got to start there to then, yes, if you're a data-driven person, that's awesome. But for me, I knew already at that point, like, when I'm working like that, I know what I can do. You know what I mean? Like I know that this is now a temporary thing. I just have to find my way in.
You know what happens too is now that people know of you as someone that does something that delivers on what they say they're gonna do, then you create a self-fulfilling prophecy of your friends and people around you because like, oh, he does that. So then there's no doubt coming to you because it's just what he does. That's like another level. So like what I'm trying to break through right now is the doubt of me getting into like the ultimate shape because in my history, my data,
Your doubt or other people's doubt of you?
other people's doubt. So like I
don't
have
really
the
care about
confidence.
that. That inspires you?
No, but
'Cause I
it's
think a lot of
harder.
people
It's harder
could
to
be.
swim upstream than downstream, right? So, just the point being of like, and that's just an example that I'm thinking of now is people will always. We talked about last week. People will have perceptions of what they think you are,
Yes.
and the only way you can change that is changing who you are. And if they don't change, great. But if they probably will, if the data is showing them different. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
You
Absolutely.
want to swim upstream. No one wants to swim downstream.
No, I get it. I absolutely.
Not that it matters, but it makes
Right.
it easier if like people are hyping you up, right?
It does, but now personally,
Mike the
to the
salmon.
point, I like people
what?
like
The salmon.
Same.
I love. I actually I get like a little high, like a little dopamine hit off of mother doubting me. You
well,
know
a
what
lot
I'm
of
saying?
people doubt you regardless.
That's
I'm
fine.
Just saying, like,
But
inner
I like
circles,
that. I
right?
use that, whereas a lot of people use that and they cripple, which is fine because they might not be where they want to be. But for me, I genuinely like that now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So maybe a better example is like when I get home and Dana is having ice cream or something because she's pregnant. You can have ice cream, Dana. Don't get mad. And she's like, "You're not having it, right? Because you're on a diet." Like versus like, "Come on, have some with me."
Right.
That's what I'm saying. The little stuff that
Yep.
you'll notice, where if you stick to it long enough, they don't question you. Like when we went to my parents and had dinner, like, "Oh, you brought your own food," and I'm like, "Yeah," and they just don't care anymore. So. And then next time they won't ask me, they'll just order food without me, assuming that I'm going to bring my own. So it's the little things that they're not, it's friction and you can get past it, but the less stuff that's hitting on your shield, the more, energy you have to put towards other areas.
Yeah.
That's like the example.
Hell yeah. I like it.
You like that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Just throwing shit
Next
at
question.
Justin.
Last question.
Yeah.
Last
last
question.
one. Yeah.
I've heard you guys say it, but I'm not sure I agree with scheduling downtime because I think it takes away from the spontaneity. What are your thoughts?
I disagree.
I like
I think
it. Which is
downtime. For me.
I think a
for
switch
me, it's
too.
a personal thing.
Right? Because at first I think you were more of that mindset because you used to laugh at me. You did.
About what?
You're like
Scheduling
you're
downtime?
scheduling it like even on the episode.
Probably.
I think.
Probably. Yeah.
And now you're to the point where you're like, I have to, right? You have to schedule it because if it's not on the calendar for me right now, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
Well,
Color code
for me,
he used to say that.
yeah, for me, it's more so I can schedule around it. Not that it
Right.
won't happen.
Yep.
But the stress of scheduling, if I don't, then I pay for it later, type of thing. Yeah, I've had to change as far as structure.
No, 100%. But I think everybody will too. Like everybody will get to a point in their industry.
I don't think everyone needs to do that.
No. But if you're a person that likes data, like I also get a little dopamine hit looking back at my weeks. Like literally looking at my calendar.
Dopamine hits, huh?
Yes, absolutely. But literally looking back at my calendar, like, yo, you're a G, man. Look, you did all this. You did all that this week. You did all that this month, and look at what it looks like in a year. But for this specific question, I love the disagreement approach because obviously I'm going to speak on my belief, but my belief isn't right. It's just how I operate.
Oh, it's right.
The spontaneity doesn't come from me scheduling, right? All I'm doing is putting out a block of time, but then it's up to me to come with a specific energy to that downtime. So the spontaneity comes from me being in the moment saying, okay, yeah, I have a 4-hour block of time. Now I'm going to be spontaneous with my wife and we're going to go to the city and go get a massage. Or I'm going to be spontaneous with my boys. I know that I'm here for a night. You know what? Let's go get after it together. So it's not about you. It seems like this person submitted a question with the belief and the predetermined notion, the preconceived notion that you scheduling it removes the spontaneity from it. Whereas I'm saying schedule it to then show up and be spontaneous as hell. Show up with the energy that you want within that time block.
So I think you're right. I think the discipline allows you to be more spontaneous.
Correct. Right. And now it's like
Which is dichotomy because it's like who would have thought that you had to be more scheduled to be
twice in one episode.
I'm complete. Yeah.
But you realize that
Yep.
like life's kind of confusing because like, yeah, you could have freedom, but you need discipline to get freedom. And you need to be in good shape so that you can eat like crap
Yep.
and survive. So it's funny.
I'm telling you, man, I wish for everybody, I don't wish no health issues on anyone that I've been able to.
Don't point this way. Don't
No.
juju. Push it
But
that
for
way.
me, I was so fortunate, man, to go through what I went through because fitness had to become the forefront of my life. And once I was able to grasp it, like business, that's a workout. The same way that I'm going to approach my workout is the same way that I have to be intentional about my business life. The same way that I'm disciplined in my workout is the same exact way that I have to show up for my family. For a long time, I was doing that in the gym and I wasn't correlating it back to my wife. I wasn't correlating it back to business. The moment I was able to, this is the formula. Like, this is it. There's no secret. It's the discipline that I apply, the consistency that I apply in the gym on the days that I don't want to do it. That is the separator. Same thing in every other facet. And I wish everybody can grasp that. I don't know how to instill that.
I don't think it's for everybody though. That's as I get older, I'm like, it's not for everybody. Like, I don't recommend everyone become a real estate agent because I don't think the majority of people can do it. And I don't think it's a easy life. I don't think everyone should be 8% body fat. I don't think it's if you choose. I'm coming from the school of thought, and I think you are as well, where we want more. We want to take a big swing. You have one life. You want to take a big swing. I don't think a lot of people think that way, which is okay. So, yes, it'd be great to everyone see it, but I don't think everyone can see it or has the skills to see it, right?
Yes, you and I had a great...
I don't even think I have the skills to see it.
No, I get it.
It's discipline. I'm not predisposed to be very organized. My brain works. But I realize I'm like, I really want this next level, so I have to change. I have to. But change is hard, and it's painful, so it's not for everybody.
But it's really not change because for you...
100% change.
No. But listen, in business, right? In business,
Same word.
When there's times... I've seen it. You're out till 4:00 in the morning years ago, and you're still able to show up and give your top-notch game at an 8:30 showing, right? You were able to get through those moments of doubt of, saying, damn, I want to call it in, and you were able to execute. Now you just need to apply and execute that same mindset. There's no difference, right? You have to be able to do that in the fitness world. But my point was just to everybody, I don't wish that life for them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I wish for everybody that they had the clarity that I had, but it was because of a health issue that kind of started that. And then the conversations in the car with my grandfather, my father, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what did it for me. I wish everybody had that experience is what I'm saying. I'm not saying I think it's for everybody because I agree with you 100%. Yeah. I don't think it is.
I think it's and I'm cool with that. Like, I understand we're extremists. It's a negative thing to say that, but we are. And I understand that, yes, it's not common to do the thing, but that's what we enjoy. So if you enjoy it, join the bandwagon and try some stuff. If not, it's cool. I get it. But I also think to a small level, everybody does have this in them, right? Look at teachers. My wife's a teacher. Yeah, but your wife's a spectacular teacher. Not every teacher is spectacular.
Okay. But the majority of teachers,
seen her work out.
The majority of teachers, they have the ability to be disciplined enough in their industry to show up every single day. There's got to be days that they don't want to be showing up, and they continue to do it. That's my point. We got to stop looking at it as it's this difficult process and this difficult thing. The consistency is hard, but the discipline in the moment is the gold. Because if you can do that in that one moment, then you could do it in 100 moments. If you could do it in 100 moments, you can do it in 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
Then you can get to where you need to. But just focus on the one instead of trying to create a whole process and, I need to figure it out. I got to figure it out. Not you. I'm just saying
That's
everybody in life. No, whereas you already have what it takes.
But you got to figure it out too.
But you have what it takes.
You may, but it's got to fit within your life.
Yes, I agree. That was good. I like it. Is that the end of our questies? Listen, you can always submit questions. I love what people do. They honestly, sometimes they just throw it in the DM, a random day on a Tuesday, and sometimes I'll be like, hey, we'll get to that on a podcast, or I'll give them an answer and then I'll repeat the answer here. So you can send them in there. You can send them to NoSnoozePodcast@gmail.com. Always like to hear your thoughts. Mike is very engaging in the DMs if you haven't noticed.
I don't spend much time.
He's the one.
I had to remove myself from a lot of social media stuff.
No, I get you.
ADD's a mom.
But no, we thank you guys for submitting these, and hopefully you got some value there. You got anything?
If you made it this far, like, subscribe, go grab some merch at NoSnoozeShop.com. We're working on some new stuff. It's a process. I might need to change my size because I'm going to be at 10% very soon.
Let's go. So this will bring us to my favorite section, Dave's Dime of the Week.
Dimes.
So this is a little analogy that I've heard it. The author is unknown, but John Gordon shared it, right? So I don't want to say that I created it here, but it's a very nice concept. 3 frogs are on a log, and one of them decides to jump off the log. How many frogs are left on the log? Answer the question.
That's a trick question?
2.
Well, is one
right,
a toad?
2. Is one a toad. So that's Justin says thinking. 2. All 3 frogs are still on the log because that one frog made a decision without taking action. Decisions without actions are just thoughts. Take action today. The frog just decided. He decided to jump, but it didn't say that he actually jumped. Right? So we all have these great little thoughts, whereas we need to take that next step of actually executing in our lives.
It's pretty good. It's like a fable.
Right. Yeah. Yes. But no, I thought it was good. I was reading it, and I obviously thought the answer was 2 too, like everybody else. But
I thought he jumped off, but landed back on it. That's what I was like.
He just jumped up and then landed right back down.
Floated.
But it's all about action, execution.
Don't be a frog on a log.
Let's go, baby. Until next time, stop snoozing.
Get up, get after it, and someone tell me how to lose some weight. That's another Epi in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No Snooze Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze.